Hello, hi there, it's your boy Daniel, and today we're going to be moving into the creation of the wallpaper application in full, starting from the layout, the logics, and the preview. So, right here, we're going to talk about the layout, but first, we are going to create everything using a liner layout, which is at the top, followed by they are both liner layouts, but they have different orientation. This is the vertical, this is the horizontal, and this is vertical liner layout. So for what we need in this project, we need our vertical liner layout. We're going to check the properties. So the first one we add here is the ID. Talking about the ID, we can only use letters and numbers on the ID with underscore. So coming to the convert, we have different type of layouts that we can convert this liner layout view to. So we can convert to relative layout. We can also convert to frame layout, and we can convert to coordinator layout and so much more. So for this, we are going to be using liner layout for this tutorial. So we want this as our background, so we're going to be using liner layout. So the next, we have the width. We all know what width means. So as we can see, we have three options to specify a width. We have match parent, wrap content. Talking about the wrap contents, this will actually wrap any widget in it. We wrap around any widget in it. So the match parent is going to fit any given space its parent gives. Any space its parent gives, it will fit it in. So this applies to height and width. So we have three options. The third one, we have to specify the width or the height in dp. So we can actually specify it in dp. So to actually show you what I'm doing here, I'm going to be using 100 height and 100 width to specify, to tell you what I'm doing here. So we're talking about padding. This gives space around the widget in the child widget. So this view will serve as a parent, then give space around it, such as the margin will give space around it. The padding gives space inside it. Please, let's take note. The padding gives space inside it. So coming to the orientation, we have horizontal and vertical. So basically, we can change a view orientation to either horizontal or vertical, or we can just remove it by selecting the none. I'll be explaining the weight sum in the next video. Coming to gravity enables you to position your child widget to any of these positions. You can position to the left, right, center, horizontal, top, bottom, and vertical. So we can actually select the first three for the horizontal purpose and the last three for the vertical purpose. So for this tutorial, we are going to be setting it to center horizontal and center vertical to actually make our child widget position in the middle. The next, we have layout gravity. So this helps you position your view in various orientation. Right, so the next, we have width. Width helps you fit the layout you're working on currently. It enables you to take up space available in the parent view. The next, we have background resources. Background resources actually enables you to add image to the background of the layout. It actually add image and fits to the background of the layout. You have background color. I don't need to explain more on that. The next, we have rotation. In it we have alpha. This alpha helps with the transparency of the background. You can actually change the transparency of the background. We have translation X, translation Y, and we have scale Y and scale X. Alright, so I'll be using these four properties below: translation X, Y, and scale Y and X in an animation later in the video. And we can also access the properties by just clicking on the view. We want the property to show up, and then you see it at the bottom. We have the width. We want to make it match parent, since we want to make it at the background, and the height also match parent. We want to remove the padding. We don't want any padding. We want to 0. I don't want any space around it, so we are going to remove the margin. So I want to show you what padding really is. Let's change the background of the widget we put as the child. So we want to add a padding of 12. So this actually add space inside the widget. So we're going to remove it. Remove the margin also. We don't want this transparency, so we are going to put 1.0, so the transparency fits well. Alright, so we want to get rid of this toolbar at the top. So this is what we do to get rid of the toolbar at the top, because the UI looks cringy. Right, so the bottom, we are going to click on the bottom, which has main.xml, and this is the same screen we are going to be clicking to create new screen. So we are going to click on the edit icon on the layout, which is there, to actually edit the properties of the activity. So we are going to get rid of the toolbar by unchecking the box, and we can also add some other properties like drawer, fab, and so on. So we're not going to add that because that's a splash screen. A splash screen is where you get in the application, like the introduction of the application. So, and that is off. So right now we need an icon of our application, whatever you want to use. I'm going to be specifying the width and the height. Let's make it 120. The height also 120. So I'll be explaining the properties of this image view, because we just dropped an image view in the layout right now. So we are going to be talking about, let's add this image as our reference. Right, so this is actually where it gets tricky. When we want to change the orientation of how the image displays, we're going to click on the scale. So we selected scale XY. So this is going to stretch the image to fit the image by stretching it. And the second one, we have the second scale type, we have fit start. With this we have fit center, we have fit end, we have center, we have center crop, and we have center inside. I'm displaying them so you can know the aspect ratio you want your image to display. So we want our image to center inside, so we're going to decrease the height to 120, and we are good to go. Always save your projects, please, so you don't lose your progress. Right now we are going to be adding a custom image. I'm going to be changing this image because it looks kind of weird with the blue background we selected earlier. So you can just select it and click it to edit the image, then select the image. I've selected this is a PNG image. This is actually white, so let's go with this, so our UI will be responsive. and this is the after result. Yeah, so I'm having some issue with this background. The background is not kind of looking cool. Let's go with purple. Yeah, this looks okay. So let's change our color all over again. I'm going to be selecting purple, so we're going to be using the varieties of purple color, and we might also need to follow these principles right here so we can get the right UI design for our application. I think we're good to go. Let's get back in. Right, this looks cool. So moving on, we are going to create a page. I'm going to create 3 pages right now. We're going to create a main page, and we're going to create a sub pages that is going to display on the main page. So by clicking on the plus icon at the top, we're going to create our main page, which we are going to name main page. It's actually an activity, so I'm creating this first, and then we'll try to design it by giving it a cool UI. Alright, so this is where we start to design our background and every other thing else. So right now we're going to be selecting a linear layout vertical, so we can you can start building on a vertical orientation. So we want to get rid of the padding, and we want to set the background color to white. Alright, so we are going to create a custom toolbar by using our linear layout horizontal to create our custom toolbar, which will be adding our logo and an icon for the notification bell. So guys, I want us to watch closely. We'll be using our width property in one of the layouts here. Alright, so since we are using a white image that has a transparent background, it might be difficult to know that there's an image there. So we are going to be adding a color filter in the logic section, which I'll be showing you when we get to the logic section. Alright, so here we come. You see what I mean by adding width to a layout property, to a layout widget rather. So as you can see, it's actually expanded and took the space available in the parent widget. So next we'll be adding a tab layout. Tab layout, if you check the internet, it's actually I'll show you what it actually looks like. What it actually looks like at the end of the video, where we'll be previewing what we just built. So I'm trying to rename all my available widgets so I don't get confused when I get to the logic area. Alright, so I think that's all. Yeah, that's all. Like I said earlier, we are going to be displaying different the two pages we are going to create right now, but we need view pager to actually display the two pages we are going to be displaying in this single page. So right now, view pager is actually a list adapter that takes a list. So we are going to convert those pages into lists, and then display them in the view pager. So while we're creating the pages right now, first I want to delete the home page so you won't get confused. So in this video I made a mistake. Instead of creating a fragment and activity, I created a normal activity, which resulted to an error. So right now, instead of changing the type of activity to fragment activity, I left it as normal activity. So I want us to gain something with this error here, how to solve errors and how to undo error. So basically, we want to create a page to display all wallpapers from the database. I want to create another page where you can access the wallpapers you saved. So we are going to edit those two pages we created so you can know the difference between those pages. You can know this is the page displaying and this is the page displaying. Alright, let's give this page an identifier by creating a text view and naming it, writing, typing or adding text to indicate that this is a recent wallpaper page, and going to the next screen. We'll also do that for the second screen, which is our saved wallpaper screen. Alright, so since we're done, we are going to back to the main page where we are going to create an adapter, the two pages with our view pager. So we are going to be selecting fragment adapter and give it a random name. Let's do that right now. After that, we click on the drop down and select on tab added. So we go to our blocks, we go to control and pick the if then block. Then go back to our operator block and takes the equals to for numbers, and then drop our position. In Android, when counting list, Android starts counting the list with the number 0 as the position of counting it. So like I told you earlier, we'll be converting our page into list to display. So when we go to our variable block, then we'll scroll back down to fragment and tab layout to return the title. Pick the return title block and drop it to. So since we have two pages, let's duplicate our code, our block. Alright, so since I told you list starts counting from 0, so we are going to add them respectively. So right, we want to set the name of our first tab first page to recent wallpapers and the second page to saved wallpapers. Alright, now we are going to check the source code, and this is what we wrote with these blocks. So going to fragment added, we're going to be using the same step. Go to variable, drag out the return fragment, go to the control, drag out the if then block, go to the operator and drag out the equals number block, and then arrange it and duplicate it. Then follow the same procedure by adding the numbers. So literally what we did here right now is if the position of the view page is equals to 0, we want to return this page, we want to display this page. If the position is number 1, we want to display the saved wallpaper. If position is number 0, we want to save this wallpaper. As far as the code is not like this, as far as the block is not like this, it will give you the right result. But if it's like this, it's not going to give you the right result. So if it's this way, then it's going to give you the right result. This is how it's supposed to be. Alright, so moving on, we have to initialize what we just did here by going to the on create activity, clicking on it to go into the logic screen. Open the block and go to the view section, scroll up till you get to the list. Then you pick the second one which says set up fragment adapter with view pager. You select your view pager. First select your view pager, then you select your fragment adapter, and now you are counting yourself. You are starting from 1, so you are going to add, you are going to impute 2 since we are using 2 pages. You are going to impute 2 since we are using 2 pages. Why is that? Because Android system counts from 0 while human beings count from 1, I guess. Alright, so we want to connect our view pager with our tab layout by going to our tab layout and connecting them by selecting the second block which says set up view pager with tab layout. We select it and select that. So moving on to the next step, going to the next step by going to the more block, the tab layout color is actually initialize our UI on set this white sketchware logo that is up. We're going to change the background color to either none or transparent, but we want it to be none. Yeah, none. So the tab color, we can change the color properties and everything through the inject, where you can actually rewrite the code or rewrite the code. If you know you don't have an idea of this, you can just do it in your logic area. I'll teach you already how to do that right now. So instead of writing code, you just have to drag and drop the block to actually stay nice. So we'll go to the to our more block and create a block. So we have types of more block. We have void, we have string, we have numbers, we have boolean, we have list, we have list number, we have various type of more block we can create. More block is actually creating a block that you can reuse. Instead of writing the code in the more block you created, instead of writing it all over again, you can just reuse it. So we have map, we have list string, we have list map, we have view. So for this we are going to be creating a void, so which we created as UI at the top. So we are we click it to go to the logic area. So first thing first, we want to add. But before then, I want to show you guys something. When you install your sketchware application for the first time, this is the only block you are going to see, from variable to more block. So any other block under there is actually custom made block, which I said I will be giving to people that are only my subscribers. So if you haven't subscribed, just subscribe right now. So coming to variables, I want to teach you guys about variables. Alright, so variable stores value. So when we talk about variables, we have types of variables like boolean, we have numbers, we have string, we have double, we have more, etc., etc. And the only one I'm going to be teaching you guys here is how to create a variable and what the types of variables store. So coming to boolean, we have boolean stores the value of true or false only. It stores value of true or false only. So when you create a boolean, it either return a true value or a false value. So while number stores varieties of numbers including decimal point. So coming to the next, we have string. String stores value of letters, numbers, specific characters, and everything else you might even imagine of. So coming to the map under, the map is actually a variable map where you can actually store data in real time. So these are the 4 variable blocks in sketchware. So when there is use of block in sketchware, you can't delete them until you remove the blocks in use and make sure they are not in use before you delete them. That is when you can be able to delete and select them and remove them. So moving on, we wanted to add the color filter on our image to actually, it's on a white background and the image itself is white, so we want to add a color filter. So you can just follow this procedure to know how to add the color filter on your image. There are white images, so it's going to give it this color accent here, and it's not going to be updated in real time here, but it's going to be updated in the application. So we want to get rid of that status bar color, so we want it to be white. Let's go to our block, go to our component, then you find light status bar. This light status bar make your status bar color white, and we can also change colors to various colors by selecting the blocks above the light status bar. You select the activities in which you are currently working on, and then select your colors. It might be purple, might be blue, whatever color you wish, just select it, and then you're good to go. When you drag and pin to the other blocks. So going to the designing, we want to make our tab layout colorful. We don't want it to just be stagnant and blah blah blah. So we want to make our tab layout colorful. So we are going to choose the selected color. So if the current position is number 1, so the recent wallpapers color text is going to be that first gray color, and the selected text is going to be the purple color. So we don't want to add ripple now. I guess that's all. And please let's not forget, whenever we create a mod block, we remember to initialize it if it is needed. So by just dropping it to the on create, it got initialized. Alright guys, so I want to show you something. When compiling your application, you might get errors. So when we get errors, we don't want to start looking for the types of errors we get, because sketchware will actually combine errors and warnings. So I want you to go to the bottom stuff there, then you select your build settings, then uncheck the hide warning in the lock screen, then we check it back. So you go back, make sure your app compact design is enabled, disable all widgets if they are not needed, disable all those properties if they are not needed. We are not using this Firebase, Google Admin and Google Map for now. Save our project and then run. Oh wait, before we run, we actually forgot something. We just created our splash screen and we didn't initialize it to like navigate to the home page once it starts counting down. So first we go to our components, then create an intent component. The intent enables you to navigate through pages and other functions. Like the intent can also perform other functions. While the timer, you know what timer means. So let's go to the on create. Right, let's go to the component, scroll up, select the first one in the timer block. So we're going to select the first one, which will actually count your time in milliseconds. So first one, you select the components you want to use. You can create many components, as far as many components is unlimited you can create. So since the timer counts in milliseconds, if you want to the timer to stop to perform an action in maybe a second, you have to use 1000 milliseconds, which is equivalent to 1 second. So to navigate to the next screen, you have to get the intent, set screen, and then start the activity. So when you click, you select your components, then you select the page you want to go. So and we don't want to come back to this page anymore, so we have to finish these activities. We have to kill these activities, so we don't want to come back here. So select the finish activity block. So upon selecting the finish activity block, so when we press back on the main page, we are going to get out of the application. We don't want to come back to this splash screen any longer. So the first block is actually to navigate to your screen, to the next screen. The start activity is to start the intent component to perform the action, and the finish activity is to finish off the screens. We don't want to come back there any longer. So, and that's all. We are good to go. Alright, so like I told you earlier, I told you guys that when I was compiling the project, I had an error, which was because instead of creating a fragment activity, I went ahead to create a normal activity. So I'll show you guys what went wrong and how I resolved this error. So guys, when we want to create things, let us not rush to create it. Let's cross check our code, because a single comma you didn't add into your code can actually frustrate you. You think, God, why is it not? So I went ahead to delete all the 2 pages I used, the 2 pages I created, and recreated a page and setting the type of the page to fragment activity, but this time changing the name. There was nothing wrong, I just decided to change the name. She get. So I would like to speed up the process. Hang on tight, please. Alright, so I created the 2 pages, then created what I created earlier. So please guys, you need to be very careful when creating things, in whether app development or so on creating everything finished, we have to go back to the adapter to change everything we did. We only needed to change the fragment adapter by setting the right page to the new page app. So right here we are done, and we fixed these errors. We had 2 errors, so we fixed it, so we are good to go. Let's run it and install it. And also before that, I forgot, we need to change the color for the indicator, for the tab layout indicator, from white to purple color, which we had earlier. So follow the steps on the screen. Make sure you look at those blocks very well, so you get what we are doing here. So that is all. Let's install and we are good to go. And here we go. This is our splash screen. After 3 seconds, we made it to the screen. So this is actually what we created. So in the next video, I'm going to be creating a database, and I'm going to be creating a database for the wallpaper. So this comes to the end of today's video. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one. Peace out.